Welcome to A-Tech Training's Quick Start video series. Today we're going to be featuring Model 1820. This is one of our advanced electricity trainers. This is a state-of-the-art training unit that works in multiple configurations where you can use keypads for standalone operation or connect via laptop and have computer-based instruction. And meanwhile, everything can be recorded and all your students can key in their answers and their progress maintained utilizing our classroom management program. So if you want to go ahead and get your operations manual out, and let's get started. Before you can begin working with your 1820 trainers, you're going to have to decide on which configuration you're going to work with. So as you can see here on the screen, we have configuration option 1, which is where you're going to use your 1820 trainer along with a laptop, and then the laptop is either going to be wired or wirelessly connected to a switch, and then that switch will send all information to a master computer or instructor computer operating the CMP program. You also have configuration 2, which is going to be standalone with a keypad or keypads in lieu of the laptop and still have connectivity through the Lantronix hub. For this video, we're going to be focusing on configuration option 1. And once you have all of this set up and all of your software installed, we'll go ahead and look over the parts and pieces, and then we can get started with training. The Model 1820 electronics trainer was designed with parts and pieces that replicate electronics that are found on today's modern vehicles. Starting over here on the left, you're going to find your battery where you have your positive and negative terminal post, followed up by a positive temperature coefficient circuit breaker self-resetting. That way if there's any oopsies during the training process, this will go ahead and trip and cut the circuit and open it up, and then it will reset on its own once the PTC cools down. Following over here to the right, you have a variable potentiometer resistor, followed up by a photoresistor. Over here we have our relay. We have a light bulb over here on this side. Following down to this component, we have our LEDs along with some capacitors. Here we have a diode set that can be set up as a diode trio. Over here we have a regular pole switch. Down below we have a bank of resistors of different values. Now we also have a Zener diode, and then the follow-up on the bottom we have 3 transistors of various sizes. So the courseware for this has developed a process to teach your students how each one of these components work, as well as engaging activities to let them diagnose and test their knowledge of the circuit. To get started on your training exercises, you're going to have to get your unit completely plugged in. So if you look here on the back, you're going to find a 120 volt outlet that plugs into the wall, and you're going to be able to plug that directly into the back of the trainer. And then you're going to have a USB cord that's going to be provided in the kit. That needs to be plugged into the USB connection on the back where it says CBI, and that plugs directly into your laptop. And then on the back you're going to find, we'll get on the other side here, there's a little master power switch. A little LED light's going to come on to let you know that the unit is in. And once the unit is on and plugged into the laptop, you can go ahead and launch your software. So let's take a look and see what that looks like. To launch your computer-based instruction software, you're going to go to your desktop and click on the A-Tech Training Instruction icon. You're going to give that a double click. That's going to go ahead and set you up for the user identification screen. You have to have all this set up beforehand using the classroom management program. If you'd like more information on that, please check out our entire series on the classroom management featuring Tony Salas, and he gives a complete rundown of how to get all of your classes set up and all of your students entered. But right now we're student 10. I'm going to put in my quick password here and press enter, and that's going to bring me up here to the main screen. It does take just a second to load everything up, and as you can see we're using the 1820, so I'm just going to click on that link right here. Once we click that link, we'll begin to be able to see all of the activities under the progress view screen. As you can see, the student has only done just a little bit in the LED section, hasn't really covered the entire full activity list that we have here. And that's one of the nice parts about the computer-based instruction, is that you can assign your students parts and pieces or individual activities, or set them up from a start to finish self-paced process here. So for the sake of demonstration purposes, we're going to go ahead and have a look at transistor basics. If you notice, there are 72 sections to this, so there's quite a bit involved as far as information, how transistors work, and questions, circuits to build. Also looks like there's some covering on some relay. So we're going to go ahead and click on 8.1.1, and that's going to go ahead and launch our computer-based instruction. So it does take a second. Looks like this one's going to start off with having us build a circuit, so that's really neat. Each time you click the next button down here, it's going to add one of the wires that's going to help you build the entire circuit. And then once you have got all the wires laid out, everything gets lettered, and then this next button turns gray. And in order to move on to the next screen, you press next right here. So let's go ahead and let's get that circuit built on our trainer. Following along with the prompts from the computer-based instruction software, we were able to build this circuit. And the first thing I like to do before I move on to the next screen is verify that the circuit I built actually works. So I'm going to do that by flipping this toggle switch over, which is in turn going to turn this light bulb on. I'm going to bring that back. If we also notice, I do already have our meter hooked up here, so that way we can read source voltage, because you always have to check source voltage first before you diagnose any circuit. So now that our circuit is completely set up, we're going to follow our prompts on our computer screen to see what our next steps are. Now that we know that our circuit is built properly and is operating correctly, let's continue on to the next screen. From here, the computer-based instruction is going to have you review the relay, and the control path in green and the load path is in red. So if you'll notice on all of our courseware and our wiring diagrams that we do color code them in order to help aid in the training process. So again, if you'll notice that the red path is all the load, and then everything that's in the green is the control side of the circuit. And after we've made that observation, we're going to click next. It's going to prompt us with our next screen here, which is going to have us, it's basically going to animate and show how the circuit is working. We're going to flip the toggle switch over. Once the toggle switch is over, that energizes the relay, which again makes the relay contacts swing closed. Once the relay contacts swing closed, that provides ground for the light bulb and makes the light come on. So the purpose of this animation is to help you have a better understanding of how the circuit is working. And once we feel good about this, we'll go ahead and click next to the next screen. Now it's letting us that the circuit's load, or the bulb, is controlled by the relay. It's just another reiteration. Again, this is for entry-level training here, so we're trying to walk through everyone in a progressive manner. Now, it's going to go ahead and have you toggle the switch again and listen for the relay, so you can actually hear our relays click as we go on the board. I can turn it on and off and actually practice just like the animation says. And practice makes perfect. So we're going to move on to the next step. And it's reminding you that the clicking noise that you hear from the relay is the mechanical switch inside that's pulled closed by the magnetic field. And that magnetic field is generated when we close the toggle switch here, and that provides available voltage, and you can have voltage drop across the coils of the relay there. So these type of activities are really great for students that are trying to learn for the first time and conceptually understand relay operation. So we're going to go ahead and kind of put a pause for the continuation of this activity, being that this is a quick start video. We're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Thank you for watching today's upload on our Quick Start video series featuring Model 1820, our advanced electrical trainer. If you've enjoyed this content or would like to know more about any of our other trainers, please go to atechtraining.com. If you click on the link at the top that says training, you can find future dates for our in-house training events where you can come to our location in Walton, Kentucky and learn more about our trainers and equipment. Please also check out our other social media platforms on Facebook and LinkedIn, and we'll see you next time.